one of the random problems with horses that is really frustrating is when your horse has symptoms that you just can't make any sense out of. And so sometimes these are just random things like, oh, they've got skin issues and you can't get a hold of it. Or, they've got a really sluggish immune system and you've been trying your best to make it better. Sometimes it's just like this chronic inflammation that you just can't get rid of. Or your horse has edema or some sort of leg swelling that's just showing up all the time and you can't get a handle on it and you can't get rid of it. So I'm not really saying that this is your horse's problem, but here's one thing that I've seen in my practice over and over again that relates to these weird symptoms, and that is the liver. So the liver is responsible for filtering out medications, toxins, hormones, and metabolic byproducts and it's like the best organ to sort of filter them out of the bloodstream. And if they accumulate or any of these things start to back up because the liver's not functioning well, they can really cause these weird symptoms in your horses that don't really make sense, and you can't get a handle on them because like more medications will make it worse, or even deworming can make it worse, or you're kind of attacking it in the usual way and then the horse isn't showing any sort of sign of getting better. And so what I recommend in this case is actually to really look at the liver and to give herbs to support the liver in its process of detoxifying. So when we talk about detoxifying, the liver breaks down these hormones, drugs, toxins, and packages them in a way that the body can actually excrete them, either through the gut and the digestive system and out through the large intestine, or through the kidneys and be excreted out in the urine. Without the packaging properties of the liver, if the liver's not functioning, they can actually back up. And then they just sort of wreak havoc. And it's nothing like drastic. We're not talking about liver failure. We're not talking about even the liver enzymes being off. We're just talking about the organ not functioning as well as it can and should. And then therefore you get these weird symptoms like skin issues. And the horse doesn't really have an allergy to anything, or they're not having, like a specific problem, but yet these things still start rearing their ugly head. And so let me give you a perfect example. I had a horse in my practice that was typical, was like always getting scratches, was always having edema in their legs for no reason, not because of hard work, not because of the temperature or the humidity outside. It was just like this random swelling. His coat always looked kind of dull and dry and crappy, and just really couldn't figure out and pinpoint any one or two or three things that were causing these issues. So what we did is we put him on what we call a liver cleanse, which is herbs that help to support the liver. So we call it a liver cleanse, but really these herbs are to support the liver. So if you're having any of these symptoms with your horse, I'm not diagnosing from afar, but it is something to look into and not see if your horse doesn't need some support in their liver to help them filter out things. And I like to do a liver cleanse, what I call it, like once a year, every spring. That's the time in Chinese medicine of the liver. It also is a good time to sort of filter out everything. They're going to be eating herbs fresh in the ground. That's going to help process this too. So in addition, you giving them an herbal tincture or an herbal decoction to help with that just makes it even better. Hi, I'm Dr. Rebecca, and if it is really your jam to unpackage horse health issues in a holistic manner, meaning you're not just treating symptoms, but you're actually looking at the underlying factors and you're looking at the horse as a whole system, then come join me in the Hale and Hardy Horse Collective at halehardyhorses.com.